I know in life we all have detours and we all have bumps in the road. It's life. And so, but I want us to get through those. Now, and the reason for me doing this is to be an encourager and hopefully to give hope to someone out there who maybe is on a journey similar to what my journey was. I was born with a hole in the heart. It was not recognized until I was 47 years old. Here I was working on an airplane as a flight attendant, pushing that cart up at high altitudes and wasn't feeling well. And I loved my job. I just was energized when my passengers walked on my airplanes. And I had an indescribable fatigue. And I would say to myself, well, if I tell myself 100 times a day I feel good, I'm gonna feel good. That it was a mind over matter situation, but that proved very wrong. I went to one of my doctors who sent me to a cardiologist. Well, that cardiologist had one opinion what was going on with my heart, and I ended up going to two more because the first two had different thoughts on what was going wrong with me. So the third one was the tiebreaker. And yes, indeed, it was a huge hole in the heart. And they could find that out by doing a scope behind the back of the heart. This is not to be depressing, to share my journey. This is to encourage because I am doing so well, and to regress back to my diagnosis when it was determined that I had a hole in the heart. It was in the chamber and a pulmonary vein attached to the wrong heart chamber. Then it was determined that I would need open heart surgery. I saw the surgeon on a Tuesday. He put me into pre-op Wednesday, and he said, I want to take care of you Thursday morning, first thing. Well, you know, when you're approaching open heart surgery, and I had a young boy at the time, a young child, and yeah, all these emotions go through your head. But anyway, the surgery went well. And I was put on the heart and lung machine twice that day because I was put on the heart and lung machine twice that day because the hole in the heart was so large. It was between the size of a quarter and a 50-cent piece. And so the first patch that they put on the heart buckled when they started me back up, and that's why they needed to put me back on the heart and lung machine to have a bigger patch. Well, fast forward 5 years, everything was going well. My coloring was improved. I was feeling quite good. And then all of a sudden, I was doing a trip from Miami to Dallas, and then it was going to be continuing on to San Francisco. I tell you, I was handing out the coats in first class, and my heart just went just out of the blue, and I thought, what in the world is going on? So I made it through the trip with this heart that was just pounding. And I got home and I saw my cardiologist, who immediately put me into the hospital. It took 5 days for the doctors to get my heart in sinus rhythm. And so then I went home, but it didn't stay in sinus rhythm. I would do anything as simple as bending down to pick up something, and it could trigger that crazy erratic heartbeat. During the following years, I went through tachycardia, which is the rapid heartbeat, 144 beats. That could go on, off and on, weeks into the months. But I still was working on that plane, and I was so thankful that I was protected when my heart was doing all of that. And the doctors had wanted me to do a cardiac ablation, which I don't know. Maybe I was a scaredy cat. I just didn't want to do it. But then when my heart was getting very erratic, and it was hard for the doctors to even check my heartbeat, to count the beats, because it was so erratic. I would get a legal pad and I would write down every time I took a medication. There were so many and I didn't want to forget and overlap. And pretty much every day about 2 o'clock, I was in the bed. And I thought, how can I serve others if I am doped up in the bed? And so I decided, okay, I can't live like this. I will do the cardiac ablation. So that day I took 3 surgeons, 7 hours to get my heart into regular sinus rhythm. It was a tough day, but my heart was quiet. It was normal. I can't tell you how refreshing it. I can't tell you how precious it was to not have your heart pound or to jump around. Tough. And so that lasted 4 months. And I was doing something as simple as scrubbing a spot on the carpet, bending down, and there it went, erratically. And so I went, oh no. And I put it off again, living off and on with that, not knowing when it was gonna act up. So finally I went ahead and got another cardiac ablation, which, because of all the advanced equipment that the doctors were using at that time, it only took 45 minutes. So that was a tremendous, that was a break. That was wonderful. And so then, after a while, my heart was going slower. And so, I mean, I've had the tachycardia, the irregular heartbeat, and then a slow beat. So I had 2 more procedures. And so today, I am on no heart medication. I live a very, very active life. I am rarely sick. And so I thought, okay, I've been spared for a reason. You know, sometimes we go through these journeys and there are lessons to be learned from them. And I think I'm a hope. And going through these journeys, I believe, mold us. We become stronger for them. We value life more, and we want to make every day count. So, folks, I'm here to encourage you. I know what illness is like. I know we can get down when we're not well. But I'm a miracle. I've had so many people pray for me during that journey. And I'm also a strong believer that my love of healthy foods, my knowledge about supplementation that applied to me is why I didn't have a heart attack during those challenging times, or a stroke when I had such a racing heartbeat, an erratic heartbeat, and working on an airplane. And at the time I was taking care of my dad, overseeing his care, who was on life support twice. And so I was being very challenged and juggling a lot of things. And I'm okay. I am great. So folks, if you're going through challenges and you're having bumps in the road, detours in your life, there's light at the end of the tunnel. You know, now I'm looking through my rear view mirror. It's past, and it's beautiful. So take care, all is well, and drop by again.